Hi, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is a special addendum episode to the last regular episode for the sole purpose of giving you some shop news and a preview into what will be going up in this week's shop update, which will be taking place on Friday, the 31st at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to call this episode 236 part 2. This will not have any of the regular 90% knitting content, spinning content, anything like that. No knit along news really. This is just the shop segment. If you're looking for the regular knitting content, then I will refer you back to episode 236 proper, which has all of that in it from last week, and I will be recording another regular episode next week, so you'll have that you can look forward to. But if you are interested in knowing what's going up in the shop this Friday and some other general shop news that I think is sort of exciting, because I've got clubs coming up, new clubs, those are always exciting, aren't they? Even if you don't join them, they're always exciting to hear about. I love hearing about people's clubs that they're doing. Anyway, stay tuned if any of that interests you. We're going to start with the general shop news. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who responded to my request for sample sock knitters that I did mention in the last regular episode. I really appreciate it. I got far more responses than I could use. I only needed 5 people, and I believe, yes, everyone has been accounted for now. The yarn has been sent out to those 5 people, so I'm really good with that right now. However, I will say that I'm sure I will have future opportunities for sample knitting for my shop. If any of those future opportunities are something that strikes your fancy, please respond again at that time. I know sometimes people think if they've responded once and they don't get to be used, then that I keep a list. I would love to say I am that organized and I could keep track of people who have volunteered to sample knit for me or test knit for me when I design, which that's so by the wayside right now. Unfortunately, I'm just not that organized, and I've got way too much on my plate already. So it's just super easier for me if you just reply when I put the call out. Even if you've replied half dozen other times, if you still want to, make the offer to do the knitting, then I'm happy to hear from you. It's not at all a problem if you've responded more than once, at least not on my end. If you're annoyed with me because I don't keep a list, then I guess that's legitimate, but I can't do anything different than the way I do it. So anyway, but thank you to those of you who are knitting sample socks for me right now. That's such a big help. Okay, moving on. Club news, current club news. The last Killarney Collection Club shipments went out yesterday, so they are winging their way to you right now, and I hope you will enjoy them. Thank you for taking part in that club. I really enjoyed creating those colorways that were inspired by my trip to Killarney Provincial Park last fall. I am looking forward to the point when I can release those into the shop. I always keep my club colorways exclusive to the clubs for a certain period of time, usually 3 months. Sometimes they never get released though, so but I am planning to release the Killarney colorways at some point. It probably will not be until midsummer or later though. And I will probably release them all at once, and they may include a couple new ones that did not go into the club. So that's something to look forward to. But for right now, if you're a club member, you will get that last one soon, and I really hope you enjoy it. It was a fun one to do. The Karamea sets that were up for pre-order a few weeks ago, everything is ready. The yarn is dyed. I've got everything. Today, after I'm done recording this, will be spent packaging everything up so that all of those can be shipped out tomorrow. So if you pre-ordered a Karamea set, which was the collaboration between designer Sarah Jordan, who did the pattern, and myself, who did the yarn, then those will be coming to you. And again, I hope you enjoy those. I know Sarah's very excited for you guys to get them, and she can't wait to see you start to knit up the pattern. So that's going to be fun for both of us. Okay, moving on with club news, since I've got the Killarney Club has wrapped up now officially, and the Pie of the Every Other Month Club will be wrapping up in April. I do have 2 future clubs coming. I believe I alluded to that on the last shop news episode, and I know I did talk about it in the last regular episode very briefly. But let me just tell you what the two clubs are going to be. The first one is going to be a fiber club, and it's going to be a barber pole spinning fiber club. That means that you will be getting 2 braids of fiber in every shipment. I'm planning for them to be 3-ounce braids. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to give an option for like a double dose, so you would get 6-ounce braids. At any rate, right now there will at least be 2 3-ounce braids, so a total of 6 ounces in each shipment. 3 ounces of it will be a variegated or a gradient colorway of fiber, and then the other one will be a coordinating semi-solid color. And the whole point of that will be to spin those 2 separately and then ply them together so that you get a barber pole effect. I love spinning yarns in a barber pole kind of way. It's my favorite. It's pretty much my favorite kind of yarn to spin. And so I thought that would be a whole lot of fun to do that. So that will be coming up, and signups for that will be coming up in early April. So you can be looking forward to all of the details of that soon. The other club that will be starting up will be the Legends, Myths, and Fairy Tales Self-Striping Club. This is going to be a self-striping club specifically on heavier weight yarns. Right now I'm planning for it to be DK weight, worsted weight, and or bulky weight, depending on how you choose to pick your club options. So I've never done a club that was only heavier weight yarns before, but I've had requests for that, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to do that. The Legends, Myths, and Fairy Tales end of things, that's going to be the theme. So each of the colorways will be inspired by some myth, legend, or fairy tale from somewhere around the world, and I do plan to have them be from different parts of the world, so it won't all just be like Celtic fairy tales or something like that, or Norse myths or anything. There'll be a little bit of everything. Well, a little bit of 3 things anyway. So signups for that will be coming in late April, so you can be watching for that as well. They'll each be 3-month clubs. They will be every other month shipments, just like these last 2 clubs were. So the fiber one will start shipping out in May, and the self-striping one will start shipping out in June, and it'll be 3 months every other month. Okay, so that's the upcoming clubs. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Lastly, in shop news, the first quarter Fiber Nymph Dye Works finished object drawing is going to be coming to a close really soon for you getting anything in to be eligible for a prize for the first quarter. So you have until midnight your time on March 31st, Friday, to get in any of your finished objects that you have finished with either Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn or Fiber Nymph Dye Works fiber during this first quarter of 2017. They can have been started prior to that, but they need to have been finished within this quarter. I will do that drawing and announce that winner on the next regular podcast, as well as the next shop news episode if the winner has not contacted me by that point in time. So, and then I will be starting the thread for the second quarter. So, and the winner of that always gets a $25 gift certificate to my shop. So it's fun. You can get some free yarn. Okay, let's move on to this week's shop update. Again, that will be on Friday, March 31st at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I've got quite a mishmash, and it's all right here on my really high-tech workspace. I don't know if you've ever noticed this or if you've ever caught a glimpse of it out of the corner of the screen. This is my ironing board. I think ironing boards make fabulous horizontal workspaces. My husband thinks I'm absolutely crazy, but I think they're awesome because they're adjustable in height. Like when I'm sitting here, I can have it down low. When I'm working standing up, it can be up higher. It's perfect and it's nice and long. I know that's a total tangent, but I think it's funny because I'm sure you guys have caught a glimpse of it and you're probably thinking, that's her ironing board. I do actually use it to iron occasionally, but it gets used for business stuff way, way more often. So anyway, let's look at what I have on my ironing board for you this week. If you remember earlier this year, I said I was going to be doing some small batch limited edition offerings for you in the shop now and then. I've done one so far, and this week will be the second one, and I'm really excited about that because they're a lot of fun to do. They're not a huge commitment. I can do it once, just try, and in this case, it's something new that I'm trying out. The last time it was already colorways, pre-existing colorways, just on a different base that I've never offered before. This time, however, these are all on the bounce base. And as you know, I've been doing the Speckled Stripes colorways lately, which have been a huge hit. You guys really seem to like them. I wanted to play with doing Speckled Stripes colorways with the speckles being on a different colored base. To this point, I've done them so that they are on a white stripe. It's just a white background with the speckles, kind of like this. Okay, so this is what the Electric Peeps speckled stripe looks like. So the speckles are on the white background. I wanted to do it on a different colored background, so that's what we have. I played with these, and I have 4 different colorways. There will be 2 of each of these. These are not repeatable. I did not write down any recipes or anything. I just was playing and having fun with these. So I'm going to just tell you what these are, generally speaking. This one, they're all 2 stripers. One will have a semi-solid stripe, the other will be the speckled stripe. So this is my iron oxide red will be the one stripe, and then the other stripe is a silver gray background, and that is what has all of your speckles on it. And there's a lot of different colors of speckles. There's greens and reds and blues, so lots of speckles. So that's the first one. The next one, this is peacock blue, is the semi-solid stripe, and then the speckled stripe has a background of corn silk, a very light yellow, and lots of bright popping speckles on that as well. This one is a gunmetal blue semi-solid stripe with a tree frog green background for the speckles. And these are a lot of purple and orange speckles. I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. And lastly, this one, sorry, my eyes are like, the light is really bright. This one is a a soft black semi-solid stripe. And then the background of the speckled stripe is my spring water blue colorway. And again, lots of just fun, bright, popping colors on there with the speckles. So, as I said, there are 2 of each of those. Unlike my speckled stripe yarns that I've done to this point, I usually try to knit up a sample so you can see what they're going to look like. I can't do that this time because, number one, as I said, these are non-repeatable, so I couldn't do an extra skein just for me. And since this is a limited edition and there's only 8 skeins total, I didn't want to sacrifice one skein and make it shorter, you know, one skein of each to make it shorter just so I can knit a sample. Hopefully you understand the concept from having seen past ones that I've done. If you have any questions, feel free to, you know, email me at fibernymph@gmail.com or ask in the episode thread on Ravelry. I'll be happy to, you know, explain more, or in the update thread in the Fiber Nymph Dye Works group too. But anyway, they're pretty straightforward, and I just think they'll be a lot of fun because who doesn't love speckles? I love speckles. Okay, so that is the first thing. The second thing is actually sort of an accidental small batch limited edition. Like, this is it. What you see here is this is what you're going to get. I was developing a new colorway this past week that usually when I do new colorways, I do like one skein just to make sure it's going to turn out right. This time I kind of played loose with that general rule that I follow, and I did 6 because I was really certain of the colors, and I thought, I know this will work. I've used these colors before together in certain configurations. I have no problem with this. And I did them, and lo and behold, yes, they looked great. However, they looked very similar to some other colorways I already do. And so it was not going to work for what I wanted it for. So I took them and then I over dyed them. I silver gray with silver gray. I thought, well, maybe that will, change the character of them enough that it'll work for what I wanted. Well, they look fine for what they are. I mean, their own one-of-a-kind thing, but it's not what I was going for with the original project that I was trying to dye for. So basically what we have is we have 6 skeins of this colorway that I will not be repeating, but they're perfectly lovely skeins. There's nothing wrong with them. I have 2 on Bedazzled and there will be 4 on Bounce, and they are basically just a turquoisey teal blue. It's kind of got an undercast of green in certain places, and then it's been over dyed in the silver gray, so it's more muted in a lot of areas. So, and again, they are variegated and there's some speckling going on there. Nothing wrong with them. It's just not the color that I was going for in what I wanted to dye, so you get the fruits of my misdyeing. Alrighty, in addition to all of this, I mentioned on the last podcast when I was talking about A Year in the Life of a Knitter Cal that I was going to have sport weight in this update because April is, the yarn focus is going to be sport weight yarn. And to do the general knit along, you can knit with sport weight, you don't have to, but if you want to participate in the April challenge, which is going to be the Shorty Sporty challenge, knitting shorty socks out of sport weight yarn, then it has to be knit out of sport weight. So I had mentioned that I was going to be having sport weight yarn in the update this week. And with that challenge, you get an extra entry if you have knit using Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn. So I have sport weight here for you. I have 1 skein each of After the Harvest and Impressionist Spring. So those 2, there's just 1 of each. These other self-stripers, which those are self-striping. Oh, don't fall, please. Sorry. Reaching. Okay. These other self-stripers, there's 2 of each. This one is Coffee at Luke's, which was a Gilmore Girls inspired colorway. This one is Magic Carpet. This one is Beachcomber. This one's Doubletree. I love this colorway. I have not knit out of this colorway yet. I really need to. This one is Berry Farm. And lastly, this one is Highlighters. So there will be all of those self-striping sport weight yarns for you to choose from if you would like. I also have a whole bunch of semi-solids in sport weight that I'll be putting up as well. Now, I wanted to offer you a discount if you are planning to buy sport weight yarn to use for the knit along. So if you place an order in the update from the update this weekend, you can, and that includes sport weight yarn with the intention of using it for the knit along, you can use the coupon code SHORTSPORT, all capital letters, SHORTSPORT, and that will give you 10% off your entire order. As long as it's got sport weight yarn in it, the coupon code is good to go. You're welcome to pick up whatever other items you would like to. But I just wanted to, give you a little bit of help if you did want to buy yarn specifically for the knit along. I thought, make it a little bit easier for you. Okay, and that coupon code will be good from the beginning of the update at 6 p.m. Eastern on Friday through Sunday at 6 p.m. So for 48 hours, that coupon code will be good. After that, it will no longer work. So, okay. So that's all of the main stuff going up. I do have some other things. I have 2 skeins of Ruby Tuesday, which is a variegated and speckled in my Colors of Classic Rock series that I'm doing. These are on Bedazzled. I am going to be adding more of these because a lot of these sold out the last time I had them in the shop. Not just this colorway, but the whole series. I'm going to be dyeing up more of those and adding hopefully the last couple of colorways that will be in that series. So you can be looking for those in the future. In addition, I have some fingering weight self-striping. There's one skein of Electric Peeps on Bounce, which is the speckled stripes. I will have one skein of Ice Palace self-striping on Heavenly, which is my MCN base. I will have one skein of Dark Fire on Bedazzled, which is also self-striping. And I will have two Nyan Cat sets. Nyan Cat, if you are not aware, this is a full skein inspired by the little cartoon Pop-Tart cat that flies through the sky with shooting rainbows on its butt. And then, so you get the full skein of the Nyan Cat colorway with a half skein of the navy blue for heels and toes. I have been dyeing Nyan Cat now for a very, very long time. I'm trying to think, 16, 14, 12. 2012 was when Nyan Cat originated. When it first came out, I had a huge waiting list, like over 100 people on the waiting list to get these Nyan Cat sets. I dyed Nyan Cat like a crazy person. And then I continued to dye it for shows mainly. Occasionally I would put some in the shop. Occasionally I would say, okay, I'll take special orders for it again. But I'll tell you what, at this point, I'm Nyan Catted out from a dyeing perspective. So these are going to be the last two sets of Nyan Cat that are going to be around for the foreseeable future. I am taking an official Nyan Cat hiatus. It's really kind of funny because I had actually dyed these before my last show. I was going to take them to my last show with me. And I had them dyed, and I just couldn't even bring myself to reskein this self-striping. That's pretty bad. I mean, my basic thing is I love what I do in my business, but whenever there comes something that I just can't stand doing anymore, I really have to take a look at it and figure out what the deal is. I love the colorway. It's super fun. I know a lot of people have really enjoyed it. It doesn't go nearly as quickly in the shop anymore as it used to. So I think maybe, the market's possibly reached a saturation point with it, or maybe just Nyan Cat itself is not super well known anymore. I don't know. But regardless, I'm going to take a hiatus from dyeing Nyan Cat for a while. So if you are still looking for Nyan Cat sets, try to grab one of these last two that'll be in the shop this week. Okay, and those are on Bedazzled, by the way. I always dye Nyan Cat on Bedazzled unless somebody specifically asked me to do it on a different base. Okay, and lastly, if you remember, last fall, I discontinued my Sunshine base, which was my light fingering weight base, 100% superwash merino, 490 yards. Every once in a while I need to phase certain bases out of my shop, and this was the one I was getting rid of. And at that time I had, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 undyed skeins left. I put them up in the shop for you to choose if you wanted to pre-order them. I had them at a discount, and you just told me what colorway you wanted me to dye them, and I dyed them for you. Well, as I was cleaning off my stock shelves recently, I came across 2 more skeins of Sunshine that I didn't know I had. So they are undyed. I'm going to just do the same thing. I will put both of these up in the shop as custom orders. You just tell me what colorway. It needs to be a tonal or a variegated speckled colorway. No self-striping, no gradients. It has to be something I can dye just a single skein at a time. So I'm going to put those up, and again, they'll be at a discount, and I'm pretty sure this is finally the last 2 Sunshine skeins that I have available. Alrighty, that is everything that's going to be in the shop this week. Seems like a lot. I still need to get all my listings up, so I'll also be working on that today, is photographing and listing and everything. But the listings will be up in preview mode soon, so you can take a look. And again, the update itself will be Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. The next shop update after that, just to give you the heads up, will be the following Friday, a week later, April 7th at 6 p.m. Eastern, also a Friday. And while I'm not going to give you any scoop and lowdown on what's going to be in that update, mainly because I don't know everything that's going to be in that update yet. I will tell you that I am planning to have an anniversary colorway. Fibernyth Dye Works has just celebrated its sixth year anniversary as of the end of March. That's when I did my very first shop update. Technically, the business started in a few months prior to that, but the first shop update was at the end of March. So I am planning in the first update of April to offer a 6th anniversary special edition colorway. I'm not going to have them in the shop. I'm going to dye up the samples of them to show you, and then they will be available for pre-order. Once the pre-orders are gone, that's going to be it. They will not go in the shop again. It's a one-shot deal. So hopefully you'll be able to get those. At this point, I don't plan on limiting how many pre-orders I will take. I'll just probably limit how long I'll have the listing up for. So anyway, but that's not till the following week. That's not till the 7th. That's not this week. But I just wanted to let you know about that. So, okay, that is everything. Again, I will be back next week, probably Wednesday, with a regular episode and a brief shop update preview for that Friday's update, since there won't be enough time to do 2 separate episodes. But that should be okay, because I don't think there will be quite as much in the shop next time. So until next week, have a lovely rest of this week. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you come and check out the shop update on Friday. And otherwise, just happy knitting. Bye.